Alright, today we are doing 9-3 factoring trinomials that are in the form x squared plus bx plus c. Just like the other day, if you need the sub to stop the video, please ask her to. So for example 1, we have factor x squared plus 7x plus 12. What you're going to notice today is that every single problem is a trinomial. When you have your problem set up like this, what you're looking for is two numbers that are going to add to your middle term and multiply to your last term. So what you're looking for is two factors of 12 that add to 7. So if we start with factors of 12, if you do 1 and 12, well, 1 plus 12 is 13. So that's not what we're looking for. Then 2 and 6. 2 plus 6 is 8. So we're closer, but still not what we're looking for. So then the next two are 3 and 4. Well, 3 plus 4 is 7. So now that we know 3 and 4, the way you factor this is you do x plus 3, because it's positive 3, times x plus 4, because it is also positive 4. And that's your final answer. On this second one, it's the same exact thing. You're looking for two numbers that add to negative 12 and multiply to 27. What you're going to notice here is that you're looking for two numbers that are multiplying to a positive but add to a negative. The only way you can get that is with two negatives. So when I do my factors, I'm going to start with negative 1 and negative 27. If I add those together, I get negative 28. So that's not it. So then I go negative 3, negative 9. If I add those together, I get negative 12. That is what I'm looking for. So when I do my parentheses, this time I have x minus 3 because it's negative, and x minus 9 because it is also negative. And that's your final answer. Third example, same thing. You're looking for two numbers that add to your middle and multiply to your last number. So negative 18 on this one, at least one of your terms is going to be negative. That's the only way you can multiply to a negative. So we have 1 and 18. I'm going to make the 1 negative. That gives me 17. Then if I do positive 1 and negative 18, that gives me negative 17. So neither one of those work. So then I'm going to go to negative 2 and 9. That gives me 7. Still not the right answer. So 2 and negative 9. Negative 7. Doesn't work. So then negative 3 and 6. That gives me 3. So that would be your correct answer. So when you do your parentheses, your 3 is negative, so that's where your minus goes. Your 6 is positive, so you have plus 6. Example 4. Same exact situation. You're looking for two numbers that add to the middle and multiply to negative 20. What you have to remember here is there's a negative 1 there. So since we're multiplying to negative 20, one of our terms or one of our factors is going to be negative. So we'll start with negative 1 and 20. That gives you 19. So that's not it. Then you do 1 and negative 20. That gives you negative 19. Still not the right answer. Then 2, negative 2 and 10. That gives you 8. That doesn't work. So 2 and negative 10. That gives you negative 8. Still not the right answer. 3 doesn't go in. 4 and 5. That gives you positive 1. So still not the right answer. So then switch it. You have 4 and negative 5. That gives you negative 1. So that's what we're looking for. So your first one is x plus 4, because 4 is positive. And then you have x minus 5. And that's your final answer. So the first part of your homework is going to be just like 1 through 4. The second part of your homework is going to say solve. Just like on Friday when we talked about it, solve. The equation must equal 0 before you can solve it. So the first thing you need to do on example 5 is you need to subtract 15 on both sides. So then you have x squared plus 2x minus 15 equals 0. Now you can go through and factor your trinomial just like we've been doing. So you're looking for two numbers that add to 2x and multiply to negative 15. So negative 15, that means we have one factor that's negative. So we start with 1 and negative 15. That gives you negative 14. So that doesn't work. Then you have negative 1 and 15. That gives you 14. Still doesn't work. Then you have 3 and negative 5. That gives you negative 2. So we're close, but that still doesn't work. So then you got to switch it. Negative 3 and 5. That gives you positive 2, which is what we're looking for. So my parenthesis becomes x minus 3 and x plus 5 equals 0. This is where you're going to have to split this into two equations. So your first equation is going to be your first parentheses set equal to 0. So you have x minus 3 equals 0. Your second parenthesis is also getting set equal to 0. So you have x plus 5 equals 0. Then you're going to solve both of these. So the first one you're going to add 3. You have x equals 3. On your second one, you're going to subtract 5. And you have x equals negative 5. Then you write them inside of the brackets, smallest to biggest. So you have negative 5, 3. Alright, this is all you're doing today. Here is your homework assignment. Please make sure you get it copied down and that you get to work. I will be back tomorrow if you have any questions.